Does that look like it's, yes, the light's on now. My Lord. Hi, I'm Vicki Palmer. I'm meeting with Lisa Merritt, my kindergarten teacher, and we're going over her individual professional development plan. Well, Lisa, thank you for coming in this afternoon. If you remember back when we had our post-conference and I had a list of all of the strengths and the Iowa teaching standards that I saw and their data points. So I kind of want to go over those just a little bit, and then that we can kind of talk about your plan for next year that you've kind of indicated that you would like to work on.
Okay.
So the standards that I had seen that day were standards 1B, 1D, 1E, 1F, and some of the things, the data points that I saw were you were using number talks, and you were following the Iowa core. You had a lot of praise and support for your students. You offered a lot of one-on-one help, walked around the classroom, gave the students an opportunity to turn and talk, so they were out monitoring each other. 2A and 2B and 2D, you pre-conferenced your goals with the students. You communicated, and the mannerisms in which you talk to your kids is always very pleasant, so they know that they're supporting them. The number talks again and Rec and Recs. 3A, 3B, 3D, and 3E, using guided practice, modeling, and independent work. 4A, 4B, C, and D. Again, a lot of the following the core are district goals. 5A and 5B and 5C focused on guided practice. You set the purpose for the lesson so the students knew what you were going to be working on that day. Again, guided practice. And then the standard 6A through E, which is a lot of classroom management, respect, and how you talk to your students. I saw all of those, and I see those on a daily basis with you, Lisa. Again, you have a kind mannerism with them, very supportive, lots of high fives, pats on the back, so kids know that they are supported by you. 7A, again, you are working on the district goal, which was number talks. And 8C and D, you provided a variety of assessments and practice to meet their needs. So following our post-conference, you had referenced that maybe you would like to do more with number talks. So we're going to talk a little bit about that and what that might look like for you next year when you write your SMART goal. So what is the reason that you chose number talks to begin with for your goal?
Number talks, we had primarily been looking at some of the way that our classroom routines are, and number talks is, from what I've investigated and researched, is just seems to be a very open strategy which allows for students to have a daily routine and to practice building confidence in the classroom, justifying their answers, kind of stepping into another's shoes and being able to relate to how students have done their work. And so I feel it will be just a very helpful strategy to implement in the classroom.
Okay. What do you think the students will be able to achieve? I mean, you are doing some number talks, so stepping it up another level. What do you think you'll be able to, your kids will achieve by doing more with number talks?
By doing more. I would probably say, number one, I think repetition and practice. They will be better at the content because they will get more modeling, more practice, being that it will be a daily implementation. I think they're going to see a little bit more skill understanding and even presentation of new skills and new content. I think when a number talk proposes maybe a higher level of thinking, a student who's not quite at that level may begin to acquire that skill prior to even my instruction of it. So I think it's going to lend itself to a natural progression of higher level thinking.
Okay. How do you know then the students will have achieved that? What's going to look different? I know I also mentioned about, your reason for choosing number talks. Did you see something was missing in your program, that you felt that need?
I didn't really see anything that was missing. I just feel that in the kindergarten, especially because it is highly a social environment and we keep on a structure, I feel like there's flexibility, but in the learning, it kind of it's kind of more rigid. This is time for our language block, and this is time for our math block. I feel that the number talks implements more of a daily life of the math, and I would implement it in the morning so that it became part of our day, and then could carry into maybe a question or something at the end of the day for some closure. So I really feel like not as much missing as much as what it can bring as far as a routine.
Okay. So how do you get to where you want to be then with your number talks? What would be one of the first things that you're going to do in preparation for next fall to get yourself ready for doing a more structured number talks in your classroom?
Right now I have a morning meeting, and I would probably revamp my morning meeting slides so that I built right in some 10 frames or some pieces to number talks right from the beginning, aligning with our core goals in math. And I would propose that first by making my slides, preparing my self as far as building some additional reading this summer, some content for myself on exactly how I was going to implement it, and I'd be ready to go first thing new school year.
Okay. What do you think will be some data points? So in the fall when we meet, we go over your SMART goal and all of the things. What will be something tangible for you or for myself so you know that the kids were successful, that you were successful? What might those data points look like at the end of the year?
At the end of the year. Primarily, I would use a combination of my formal assessments, some benchmark standards, and then I would also use informal ones where I could actually see some summative growth, throughout the day. So I think easy data points are going to be just basic observations of students' confidence, of their work and application, and formal pieces of data.
Okay. So what we'll do is then when school starts back up again in the fall, then we will meet and put together your SMART goal.
Okay.
And we'll make sure that we include, what I have written down here that from what we've talked about is that you will try to use number talks in your classroom at least 3 times a week. And again, that might change as we're working through this in the fall. Maybe you want to do more, maybe you want to do less. But from our conversation, it sounds like that's at least a good start. And that, I don't know if I mentioned this, but Sarah Syke will have some number talk workshops offered at Keystone AEA this summer.
Nice.
So if that is something that you might want to attend, just to kind of refresh your mind, and then plus pull out those books that we purchased last year as some sort of reference into us. So.
Okay.
Otherwise, I think it sounds like a great goal. I think that's something very manageable, and that if I can be of any help to you in the fall, I will be.
Good.
All right. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you very much. You bet.